Toziuha Knight, Order of the Alchemists, is a Metroidvania 2D side-scroller that is inspired by classic games like Symphony of the Night. The line between paying homage and just ripping off ideas from Castlevania games is thin, but there is enough originality in the story, presentation, and battle mechanics that make it attractive even to those who have played games in this genre for years. Plus, Konami isn't making more of these games, so go for it, indie devs. Currently, the game is in early access on Steam. There is about 6 to 8 hours of content, and there are some balancing adjustments to be made, but it shows a lot of promise. The previous game in this series, subtitled Dracula's Revenge, came out in 2022. Both games star Xandria with an X, an iron alchemist who is going out to get revenge on Dracula. In this game world, Vlad Tepes Dracula is also an alchemist who was sentenced to death for having made a pact with Toziuha to acquire demonic power. One day, several alchemists from the Order are found impaled outside Dracula's castle, revealing that he has been resurrected. Xandria, who is portrayed as a dark anti-hero with a tragic past, goes on a vengeful quest to defeat Dracula. In this sequel, you will fight and exact your revenge on an entire order of alchemists and meet some companions along the way. The competent pixel art creates an often dark fantasy Middle Ages environment. The layering of the backgrounds is really nice, and the character portraits have been improved from the original game. The music is solid, except for some strange choices in spots, but all of this combines to create a fantastic atmosphere. I was drawn to this game by the fluidity of combat and how satisfying it is to jump and whip. You can dash cancel out of ground attacks, and the movement is very responsive when moving. There is a bit of stiffness in other attacks due to not being able to cancel into a jump, and if the developer would like to add jump canceling to improve it, that would be nice. So far, I like that it provides the classic high-risk, high-reward whipping action that the original games were known for. Your main weapon is a whip that you manifest with your mastery of alchemy. Alloys you find in the game give the whip elemental properties at no cost, like light, ice, or iron to break objects. You can equip 3 pieces of armor and 1 accessory to boost your stats. There are elemental circuits to find on the map, and they come in 2 flavors, active and passive. The active abilities include throwing axes, fire shots, and some really flashy ones that take longer to cast. There are plenty of opportunities for exploration, and you will want to search for elemental circuits to gain access to new abilities like the classic slide and double jump. You can also find characters off the beaten path to complete some small subquests. Even though the pixelated presentation, strong gameplay, and the promise of more content to come is really good, Toziuha Knight is a little bit rough in its current form. After the first 15 to 30 minutes of the game, you lose your powers and start at level 1. The next few hours are extremely tough without a bit of grinding. I brute forced my way to the first major boss with minimal grind, and I did 0 damage. But after grinding to a level where I could kill the boss, who is a 2-phase fight by the way, I was then powerful enough to where the rest of the game was a bit easy. Enemies can have high HP and do lots of damage. The enemy placement is also an issue. There are some nasty combinations of enemies in certain rooms. They can aggro from a long way away and will usually have the advantage. Enemies are often too close to the edges of the screen and will easily knock you out of the screen, plus there is a little stutter when fading to black between screens. I feel that overall the areas are a bit too small and pulled in, and the sprites for you and the enemies are a bit too large, especially with the lack of iframes after getting hit. All you really get are coins from enemies right now, and things you can sell for money. Now this is an extreme nitpick, but why do the character portraits only face one direction? Perhaps they were drawn in one direction, but sometimes the characters are facing toward each other, and the portraits are facing in the opposite direction. It's just a bit odd. Easy fix though. And got it. In conclusion, I love Metroidvania games, and it's obvious that the developer of this game does too. It is a love letter to Symphony of the Night and Castlevania. There is a decent amount of content with this early access build, but at the moment, Toziuha Knight, Order of the Alchemists, is a bit of a tough sell, mostly due to balance issues. If you feel that the $14 price is worth 6 to 8 hours of rough yet promising gameplay, it's worth a purchase, but there's a bit of development yet to go until all the knots in the whip are ironed out. If you enjoyed the video, like and comment to help me out, and consider subscribing for more gaming content.